grandmother is talking to me, and I'm like, yes, grandma, like I'm saying it loud for her to hear, like, yeah, my grandmother is here, like, you know, acting like I'm not alone. And I'm playing in the front yard by myself. And I was like, okay, grandma, I'm gonna go get the water now. Go catch my water, come back and act like send me a play by myself again out in the front yard. And then she was like calling me on this particular day. And I was like looking, and I said, hold on, I have to ask my grandmother if it's okay to come over there. She said, okay. So I went to the back of the yard and pretending like I was asking my grandmother's permission to go talk to the lady across the road. So I went over there and I said, oh, my grandmother said it's okay to come. And I said, what is it that you need? And she said to me, oh, you know, child, I need some help. Would you help me to sweep up the front of the yard and sweep up the backyard as well? Yes, you know. And when you've done all of that, I'm going to ask you to come walk with me up at the coffee bush. I need to pick some coffee today. So I'm gonna ask you to help me with that. I said, all right then, ma'am, I will help you. And so she gave me the broom. I'm gonna sweep up our yard, I'm gonna sweep up the back of the yard. And while I was sweeping up the back of the yard, I see a board, because every house have a house bottom. Not, well, majority of the houses have house bottom. What I mean by house bottom is the house is set up on like some blocks, and you can go under the, you have access to go under the house, But for some reason, this side of the house was boarded up. So you wouldn't see, you don't have access like some of the house where you can just go straight up underneath the house bottom. So I saw a board moving. So I was like, I'm stop on the holy broom, look at me. And they said, and then I said the board put back. So I'm like, no. So I stop on my weight again and I said, I know I see the board just move. But me not run yet. Me I make sure so my eyes them never play tricks for me. So I see the board, I take time come out to me, say, and then I see this little head come out, and I say, hello. And she's shy. And so I go over and I say, would you like to be my friend? And she shook her head, say she was very shy, this black girl, and her ear never comb. Oh God, them look like them have her live underneath the house bottom. I didn't understand why they were hiding that little girl underneath the house bottom. However, I told myself, I don't have any friends. She live underneath the house bottom. No, me have a friend. So I tell her, don't worry, I'm going to bring you food. I say, you're hungry? She said, I'm going to cook for you and I'm going to give you food. So I would go, the lady, when she peel the yam skin and the banana, or pumpkin, whatever, then strip off. Me have my milk can and me make up my fire. Like I always telling me, I know how to make my fire, I know how to make boil my water. Me am not a big chef yet, but me know how to make something happen. Me go in the garbage and me take out the yam skin them and whatever peelings that is sticking off, and me cook that for the little girl and carrot go give her me underneath the house bottom. She have her little bed and everything, and it's like them build up a little area under the house bottom for this little girl that was not being cared for. She seemed like she couldn't talk. Like now I can say that she was an handicap because I understand what a handicap looks like now, but then I didn't understand that she was an handicap. And I think maybe they were ashamed of her, so they hid her underneath the house bottom. Make she have her living quarters under the house bottom. And I used to go under there and act like I don't know that she's there. I would cook these things for her and give it to her to eat. And I would eat it with her as well because, hey, we didn't have no food either. And whatever I had, I used to want to share with her because I considered her to be my friend, like I was saying. However, I went up, I make sure to hurry up and go to the bush, go pick coffee for the lady. And when she done, she said, here's your pay. And I was like, I said, you're giving me money? She said, yes. I wasn't going to make you work for free. She said, thank you, baby. I don't want you to come back tomorrow, okay? I said, okay. All right, now go on home to your grandmother. I'ma leave. And I peep through my window and I watch her because she's go back on the veranda, go sit down. And I look on the money what she give me in my hand. And I remember it was a big one, a medium one, and a small one. So I know, say, I have enough because I remember when we go up on the bus, the size, I don't know if a 10 cent, 50 cent, 5 cent, whatever. And at that time, I just always remember the size that I would give the bus driver to go to school. And I was looking at the money in my hand and I said, I have 3 of this size that I could pay to go to school. And I have a size, this size, when we can give to the shop to get piece of bread and whatever. I was like, oh my God, I'm rich. I can go to school. And I always want to go. So you know what I did? I made sure I got my uniform. I got dressed the next day. And I said, oh, my grandmother said I have to go to school today. She's like, okay. When you're out there from school, come back and help me. And I said, yes, I will. I walked all the way down the road to get the bus. I took the bus and I took myself to school with the money that I had. And I did the same thing. I would take the bus to school and walk back home by myself. And I'm telling you, I don't know the miles in my head because at that time I never understand miles, but I knew it was a ways to go from Stone Age to Darliston. And I did that. I took myself to school, and a part of that reason is because I know that at lunchtime I would get Nutribullet and a box of orange juice or a box of milk. And on some days I would get bun and cheese and a box of milk or a choice of orange juice. So I made sure to go to school because I know that's how I'm going to get fed. I'm going to make sure that I save piece to take home so I could have something to eat in the evenings as well. So I would join the line, I would get my box of orange juice, my bulla, and then I would join back the line again and act like never and get a bun and cheese. And then I would have food to take back at home. I wouldn't be able to have any drinks because one of the teachers then figure out said me I come join. And she's like, Kelisha, you cannot do that. You only can join the line one time. And I'm like, okay. So normally me start get smart and wait for when time I want different lady and then go join the line and get so me can carry home food. And I think that's one of the reasons that really prompted me to take my ass to school because I know I was going to be getting free food at lunchtime. And I did that for several days that the money could allow me to take me to school. And I would go back and I would help the lady to pick coffee and she would give me the local money. And sometimes the next time, because I didn't do a lot of work, she paid me accordingly to the work that I performed. So sometimes I would get more, sometimes I would get less. And this is at 6.5 years old. That's why I tell people I start to make my earning at 6 years old and take care of myself that way. Even though my heart was My life at that age was challenging and heart-wrenching, because I remember there was nights I would cry because I was like, why my grandmother don't come home? Maybe she don't love me. Maybe she don't want me. I always wonder why she don't come home and be at home with me. I don't have any food. I have to figure out ways how to feed myself. I would wash my own clothes because I knew how to do that, because I had to do that. Wash my clothes and hang it on the line. I have to walk and go catch the water. I have to make sure I have water to bathe myself and hurry up and go in when it's dark, lock the door and stay inside and sleep. Sometimes I don't have any money to buy anything. I'm if I eat my guava and go on my bed, or if I no guava me after them, me just eat my apple. Then if I apple me find a bush and eat my apple and go on my bed and drink water. I know what that life was like, what it has done for me, and who it's made me to be today. So I had to put that into my story, because I am talking about my life and the experiences that I've had while growing up in Jamaica. And at such young age, I've been experiencing all these things that made me very mature and wise. Moving from this, my grandmother moved again, and this time we moved to this place called Happy Grove. And then she didn't enroll me in school this time. We lived up on a hill, and I could see the school on the bottom there, and I could see the church on the other side of the hill in Happy Grove. And there was this gentleman named Mr. Comfrey, who I used to go to his yard. He used to have this big old coolie plum tree, and oh my God, I love coolie plum. He used to have this huge coolie plum tree that when that tree it loaded. Coolie plum is these little long plums, like, and they sometimes is when they're ripe, they have like a green, yellow, kind of maroon reddish color. Sometimes they have all type of, some of them is little and yellow, but some of them is just red, and he had the ones that were red. Oh my God. The something them sweet, the plum them sweet, so till. So we had moved from Stonehenge and went to Happy Grove, and that will be the story for part 9.